says Okeke, ex-PSC chairman. Former chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC, Chief Simon Okeke, has said prior to his election, he saw signs of symptomed IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu expressing hope of his imminent freedom. He called on governors and leaders of the region should jointly meet with President Tinubu and fashion out how to address the security challenges in the zone. Okeke stated this during a chat with journalists at his residence in Amici, Newi, South Local Government area of Anambra State, and he said he believed Tinubu would look into Kanu's continuous detention and set him free, given the sympathy he had for him prior to being elected president. Governors should meet Tinubu to find solution to insecurity, says Okeke, ex-PSC chairman. And also, away from that, we have this very story, also from The Sun. Keep to your campaign promises, Catholic priests task politicians. Catholic priest Reverend Uchenna Agu has urged elected office holders to fulfill their campaign promises to maintain the trust repossessed in them by the electorate. The cleric made the call in a sermon at St. John's Catholic Parish, Ibagwa Ani, Unsuka local government area of Enugu State, during the Thanksgiving Mass and reception for Chidi Obeta, a member representing Unsuka Igbo Eze South Federal Constituency. From The Sun, keep to your campaign promises, Catholic priests task politicians. And quickly going through the front page of another newspaper this morning, let's go through the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. From the front page of the Vanguard, you see forex scarcity persists as CBN resumes intervention with double riders. Banks ignore CBN's directive on domiciliary accounts. Exchange rates converge around 770 naira per dollar. You get that on page 19 in the Vanguard newspaper. On governor election, you see this headline: Elders Council raises alarm over Kogi's political violence. Page 27 captures the very story. Zenith Bank's Mukhtar Adam wins CFO of the Year award. Page 4 captures that story. Autumn accuses Governor Aliya of persecution. You get the details of that on page 10. Court stops Kanu government from further demolition. The details of that on page 10 in the Vanguard newspaper. On subsidy from the front page, lack of license and foreign exchange and others in the fuel importation. Page 5 as the details. UK waiting for Tinubu to name ministers. Envoy revealing that on page 9 in the Vanguard newspaper. Also from the front page, we are optimistic of improved security, says AGIGP. You get that on page 4 in the Vanguard newspaper. Why we recommended suspension of 23 local government chairmen, Benue Speaker revealing reasons, right there on page 10 in the Vanguard newspaper. Butcher stoned to death in Sokoto for blaspheming. That rather sad headline on page 6 in the Vanguard newspaper. Away from that, also from the front page, tackle insecurity head-on. Baptist Conference urges service chiefs. Page 9 captures that story. Dogara to Tinubu says bring subsidy cabal to book. Page 27 has that story. And on illegal mining, Taraba governor suspends activities. You get that on page 10 in the Vanguard newspaper. And the sport headline on the front page right here says Niger Super 8 Rivers United win 5-goal thriller against Bende Insurance. Page 30 captures the sport story. And quickly giving you a couple of stories from the Vanguard newspaper. We start with this very story. CBN directs banks to obtain social media handles to customers. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed banks to obtain the social media handles of customers as part of enhanced customer due diligence (CDD) regulations. The directive was contained in the CBN Customer Due Diligence Regulation 2023, issued over the weekend via a circular signed by the Director, Financial Policy and Regulation Department, CBN, Mr. Chibuzo Efobi. The regulation stated financial institutions shall not establish or keep anonymous accounts and numbered accounts or accounts in fictitious names. FLS shall undertake CDD measures when establishing business relationships, and the rest of that in the Vanguard newspaper for more details. CBN directs banks to obtain social media handles of customers. Away from that, we also have forex scarcity persists as CBN resume intervention. There are indications that banks are ignoring the Central Bank of Nigeria's their customers' unfettered withdrawal of foreign currencies from domiciliary accounts. And meanwhile, Nigeria's foreign exchange market has recorded a drastic change following the market reforms introduced by the CBN previous week. And Financial Vanguard findings show that the banks are still restricting the amount of foreign currency that customers can withdraw from their accounts, saying the currencies are still scarce. And dealers and the customers who spoke to Financial Vanguard lamented that his situation has impeded supply of foreign currency to the market. From the Vanguard, forex scarcity persists as CN resumes intervention. Away from that, we also have an update right here from the stable of the NDLEA. NDLEA intercept 5,344 kilogram imported skunk consignment in Lekki. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency two imported consignments of loud variants from the Daily Trust. Now, quickly wrapping it up with the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly see a couple of headlines on the front page of the Punch. Naira devaluation pushes off vehicles duties by 40% with double riders. But page 2 captures the details of that very headline. Debt servicing rose to 1.24 trillion naira in first quarter of 2023. Report revealing that on page 14 in the Punch, Discos failed to remit 208 billion naira, says federal government. That's captured on page 30. Details from the Punch, just one or two stories from the Punch newspaper. We have quickly giving you a foreign story from the Punch. Wagner crisis shows Ukraine war cracking Russian power. European Union are revealing that Wagner's aborted mutiny shows Moscow's war in Ukraine is splintering Russian power. The European Union's top diplomat said on Monday, warning instability in the nuclear armed power is not a good thing. And what has happened during this weekend shows that the war against Ukraine is cracking Russian power and affecting its political system. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell said at a meeting of the bloc's foreign ministers. The rest of that in the Punch. Wagner crisis shows Ukraine war cracking Russian power, says European Union. And an entertainment news from the Punch. Reviews on Bet Awards 2023. Burna Boy wins Best International Act. Nigerian musician Damini Ogulu, also known as Burna Boy, has won the award for Best International Act at the 2023 edition of Black Entertainment Awards, BET. And the African giant crooner beats the likes of Ira Star, Central C, and Stormzy, among others, to clinch the most coveted category of Bet Awards. When it was announced as the winner, his mother, Bosse, received the award on his behalf. Bet Awards 2023.